Welcome back. Good to see you here once again. This is chapter 3, number 2. Not that number 2, but you know what I mean. We're here to talk about today is the motherboard. The motherboard is the central hub of your PC. It's the backbone that connects all components. Without it, the CPU, RAM, storage, and expansion cards would not be able to connect or communicate, making it the foundation of your entire build. Today we're going to be using the AM4 platform. I'm going to be using the B450 M-AII as an example piece. Let's get into the AM4 platform. It has been a staple for the PC building for years, for the community. For the last 9 or so years, maybe more, depending on when you're looking at this video. Offering a balance between affordability, performance, and upgradability. At the heart of the AM4 motherboard, the AM4 socket, designed specifically for Ryzen CPUs. Unlike the newer platform like AM5, AM4 utilizes the pin grid array, PGA design, measuring the CPU itself has pins that fit into the motherboard socket. So we'll get into that and I'll bring you down so you can see it. This makes installation straightforward, but also requires careful handling. Bend a pin and you'll run into major issues. That's usually what happens with PGA. Beyond the socket, chipset defines the motherboard capabilities on AM4 popular option, which it is, including the B450, B550, and X570. Each offering different levels of performance, featuring the B450 is a great budget build, providing solid performance, essentials, and connectivity, while the X570 brings high-end features like PCI Gen 4 support and better VRMs for overclocking. Picking the right chipset depends on your budget and performance needs, ensuring you don't need to overspend on features you won't use. Speaking of VRMs, or voltage regulating modules, they play a huge role in power delivery for your CPU. A strong VRM setup ensures stable performance and efficient power flow, especially if you plan to overclock your Ryzen CPU. Low-end motherboards often come with weaker VRMs, which can limit your power efficiency and affect system stability over time. That's why choosing a motherboard with a reliable VRMs is crucial for long-term performance. Now, let's talk about expansion and connectivity. The PCIe slots determine your ability to upgrade the GPU, SSD, and expansion cards, while RAM slots define your maximum memory capacity. Most AM4 motherboards DDR4 memory storage options include SATA and NVMe when it comes to your M.2 SSD, allowing you to balance the speed and capacity depending on your workflow. Additionally, checking the rear I/O panel ensures you to have the USB ports, display options, and connectivity that matches your needs. Understanding AM4 motherboards play a big role in most of your PC builds now in 2025. But for beginners, make sure you make a smart decision before you decide to select AM4. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a good starter for you if you're willing to practice at a low budget, especially learning how to build. Your knowledge, helping you choose the right motherboard based upon your budget, use case, and performance goals. Step-by-step learning approach ensures clarity and confidence, making part selection a well-informed process instead of guesswork. And that's what happens with a lot of people, because they have a lot of guesswork when it comes to what parts to pick for the PC. But through this volume, we will get to that point. Right now, we're learning what the components are. That is the main plus. But before we go, we're going to take an extra couple minutes and we're going to bring you down to look at the motherboard so you get a good idea in what it looks like. Now here is an MATX motherboard. The reason why it's MATX is because it's a mini ATX motherboard. Usually ATX motherboards will come out to about here and they'll have a couple extra slots. It'll have a couple extra X16 slots. This is your PCIe X16 slot. This is your PCIe X1 slot and another X1 slot. This is an M.2 SSD, NVMe. This is where your storage for your operating system and your other essential needs. Here is your battery. This backs up your BIOS for your motherboard and holds all your settings into the BIOS memory. This is your Ryzen processor. As you can see, if you notice the top of the socket right here and where the Ryzen letters are, this should always be pointing to the top of the socket. See, you have your relief arm there and you flip it up. This should always be facing towards that. Usually they say, well, what you want to do is you want to locator pins. You know, there's little triangles on either side that will locate you to the right position to put this in the socket. These are your brackets for your cooler. You can have an air cooler, you can have a water cooler, you can have any kind of cooler. You might have to change these brackets over time. These are the heat sinks to cover the VRMs. These are not covered here for the simple fact this is a cheap motherboard. It's a $79 motherboard. Over here you have your co-processing unit right here. Over here you have your sound card. Make sure I get that. For your sound. So you got your storage, your sound, your co-processor, you got your SATA connections. If you want to connect a hard drive or whatever, you got your 24 pin right here where you connect your power from your power supply. You have your fan connectors and you have a 12 volt RGB. You got your two fan connectors and 12 volt RGB. And also you got additional fan connectors here. And overall, you got your 4-bay RAM slots. Let's go ahead and go back up to the top. Oh, and one thing else too. This is the power for your CPU. It's called an EPS plug. So let's go to the top. I'll finish this up. This is a little longer than usual, but this is talking about the motherboard. Okay, as you can see, we're going to conclude with this. With your motherboard, it's very easy to plug things in. It's basically plug and play. But as we go along, we'll teach you more about the motherboard and its usage and everything else and how to pick one, and we'll go from there. But for now, I just wanted to give you a quick look what a motherboard is right here. So, but until the next time, we will see you on the next one.